Auto insurance can all seem the same until it comes time to use it. So don't get stuck paying more for less coverage. Switch to USAA Auto Insurance and you could start saving money in no time. Get a quote today. Restrictions apply.
It's time for basketball, and Uber Eats is dropping deals on game day favorites to keep you locked in on the action. Like when you're craving a buzzer beater, but also buffalo wings. Or when an upset makes you want to ugly cry into a pizza. And right now, Uber Eats has game day deals from Burger King, Buffalo Wild Wings, KFC, and hundreds more local favorites. So you can keep your eyes on the ball and your hands on a burger. Order now, only on Uber Eats. Product availability varies by region. See app for details.
Alright, what's up guys? Welcome to another extra of the TMossBoss show. And in today's extra, I wanted to take the time real quick to answer that question for any content creators out there, because I know it can be hard growing as a content creator, and that's why I try to put that out there. You know, when you're a content creator, you gotta be unique, you gotta be different than others, because I see where people try to be like other content creators, and it may work for a while, but then eventually it gets to a point in time where it's like, okay, what else can you do? What else can you provide to the content creating universe and stuff? So one example that I can possibly think of is the one dude a while ago that was, I don't think he was pretending though. Like, what's the word that I'm trying to, he was acting just like I Show Speed. And it was so weird watching his videos, because I'm like, fam, you're not I Show Speed. You're just your eye display normal, distance. Like he was definitely, and it's just, man, it tripped me out like seeing that guy, because I'm like, you have the tools of being a popular content creator, but he did make a name for himself at that point in time, but look at where he's at and look at where I Show Speed is at right now. That's what I mean, like, by people where, you gotta be unique and you gotta be different, because if you're not, then yeah, don't be surprised if you look up one day and your audience is just slowly disappearing and stuff. So, and I could just say for my self that, doing reaction videos for so long, like, there are reaction videos that get more views than others. So that's why, like, with me, you've seen, like, probably almost every year, you see where my content is different, because back 2015, 2016, I was reacting to guys like McJuggernuggets, El Presador, Angry Grandpa. I'm trying to think of some other people that I was reacting to, but yeah, it's like the original reaction videos. And then as the time went on, then yeah, I was just kind of like reacting to other people. At one point in time, I remember doing some before he decided to do some more weird stuff on the internet, but I remember a lot of people were subscribed to me because of my EDP 445 reaction videos, but I ended up taking those videos down because I was like, nah, can't show no support to that guy and after what he did. But anyways, but no, overall though, then I remember then 2020 people started subscribing to me because I was reacting to people in the Rainbow Six Siege community. So that's one thing about content creating, is that you have to move along with content creating. You can't just stick, unless like that's it, if it's something that's like that you are behind, like you're known for that and you feel comfortable doing that, then yeah. But because when you look at guys like Corey Kenshin, for an example, people subscribe to or watch his videos for him, and I feel like that's one thing about it too. Like, there's a difference between like two different types of content creators. You got those content creators where they're known for their content, then you got content creators that's known for them. And I know people will probably ask, like, who do I think, like, what type of content creator am I known for? I would say I'm a blend between both. Like, I feel like people subscribe to me for me, and then there's people that subscribe to me for the content that I react to. Because yeah, there's people where it's like, they find me funny, they find stuff that I say funny, and so they overall subscribe to me. Because like, for an example, the voiceover videos, I'm like, yeah, it was overall the content I was doing voiceover to was funny, but a lot of people were subscribing to me over my voice. My thing is this: without that, then it's like, yeah, I wouldn't have the subscribers and the numbers that I have today. So overall, I'm like, that's why I would say I'm a blend between both. I just have a feeling that there'll be people out there that'll try to argue with that, and I'm like, may I remind you, I'm the one that's in control of my channel, so I think I know what's going on my own channel before somebody that's on the outside looking in. I'm like, I'm on the inside looking in and stuff. I see what's going on. So, but anyways, And then yeah, there's been times where I've came across content creators where they're more so known for, I would say, like, yeah, I feel like I've came across more content creators known for their content than being known for who they are. And then you got where there are some where it's like, they display who they are, and it may have a good reaction, may have a bad reaction, but overall though, it's like, yeah, it's one of those things where I'm like, it just really depends on the person. It really depends on the person that's behind the content creator. So overall, it's like, you when you're trying to display that character or whoever it is with videos, it's like, it has to be a character worth subscribing to. So that's one thing about content creating, is that you have to stay entertaining. You can't be like, oh, I'm just gonna do some boring content because I don't feel like being entertaining today. Here's the thing. You have to understand that content creating is just, it is. It ain't even just like, it ain't somewhat like, no, it is the entertainment business. You can't go up, like, when you think of a comedian or a musician or an actor, unless, like, that's, like, and I guess, like, for actors, it's like, yeah, they can act out a boring role and it'll be, but it has to be funny. It has to be entertaining in a way. Like that one guy that was in, I think he was in The Mask. But he has like I wouldn't say it's like a boring personality, but he's very, like, he don't have like a reaction to stuff. You'll be sitting there talking with them and things, and kind of like how like, you could tell, like, my voice, it'll go up when I'm talking about stuff, then it'll go down. Like, there's like tones to it with him. It's just one tone. Like, this is how he talks. He doesn't have a reaction. He just, and I'm like, bro, I couldn't be somebody like that. I'm like, I gotta laugh, I gotta smile, I gotta do things in my videos. But yeah, overall though, it's like with content creating, you have to be entertaining. And then that's another thing though, I feel like that people have to remember that, like, and I know people will say like, well, I am entertaining, like, and my videos don't get the same amount of views as it did like some time ago. Then yeah, that's just something that you gotta blame on the algorithm. The algorithm, it changes all the times. Like, you got, and that's, to just end this extra off talking on this, like, you gotta sit down and think about it. There is a fan, like, there's like somebody that's just in the middle of, like, it's kind of like a reverse like situation and things, where it's like, like, there's that fan, and then there's just like, thousands of content creators surrounding them, rather than being the content creator being surrounded by thousands of fans. And I think that's what a lot of people, are thriving for, aiming for, and all that stuff. But anyways, when you and it changes all the time. Like, first it's gonna be that fan, there's gonna be 2 fans, 3 fans, and eventually it's gonna be that situation where you're that content creator standing around like hundreds of thousands, if not millions of fans and stuff. But anyways, but you gotta sit down and think about it. There's a bunch of different content being thrown into this fan's direction. You only got 24 hours in the day, and there's all these different videos, from like just, like, C videos, from video game videos to short films, comedy skits. You got all this content being thrown in this fan's direction. And it's one of those things where I know people be like, oh, I gotta have an appealing title, I gotta have an appealing thumbnail, I gotta be an appealing character and stuff, or whoever it is, I gotta display a lot of different things with my content. And that's 100% fine. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But overall though, it's like, you're seeing all of these other different, because you're not the only one uploading at that point in time. You got to remember that, like, as you, like, let's say you're all like, okay, well, I'm gonna upload 7 in the morning. There's thousands of other people thinking the same exact thing. I'm gonna upload early in the morning. Well, I'm gonna upload in the middle of the night. There's thousands of people uploading in the middle of the night. So I guess you got to look at it as like, okay, and this is something that I'd be telling myself I need to start doing, that is promoting my content on other platforms. So at least then, because I'm like, I would have to say, like, that's why I think my voiceover videos have done so well. Because I'm like, besides Instagram, I'm like, my voiceover videos, I feel like they done pulled more numbers on YouTube than they have on Instagram. And same with my TikTok videos. There's TikTok videos I posted just strictly on there where they pull numbers, but if I post them on YouTube and even Instagram, I'm like, there's at times where they don't even really get that many views. So yeah, it really just depends on what you're doing. But overall, it's like, it really depends on who you're throwing that video idea to. So it's like, I guess, like, if you're somebody like me where you're just doing a bunch of different random content, yeah, it is going to be a little bit harder to maintain, or not maintain, but to gain an audience. Like, anybody can maintain an audience. Well, I take that back. Now I don't think anybody can maintain an audience, because I ain't seen where people then did some stuff where they got rid of their audience and things. So But really like capturing the audience attention, I think that's the main part, because it's like, yeah, like I said, there's that one fan standing in the middle of thousands of content creators, and they got thousands of videos being thrown at them. They can't watch all those videos at the same time. So yeah, that's why I'm like, at times it's just, it's difficult, but that's how it is with content creating. So I would definitely say, like, my advice to anybody out there trying to be a content creator, find the type of content that you want to get into. So if it's gaming, post that stuff like all across social media. Stream on Twitch, stream on Kick, stream on YouTube, stream on TikTok, stream everywhere. Playing a game, post clips, post TikToks, Instagram Reels, all that stuff. That's one thing that I've always have said about content creating, that you have to be your own promoter. You have to be the person promoting your content. And then, yeah, one day you'll look up, you'll have hundreds of thousands of subscribers, millions of views, fans recognizing you out in public and stuff. But yeah, it's gonna be a process. That's one thing about content creating. People be downplaying it, but I'm like, fam, it's a full-blown, that's something where I'm like, I ain't even willing to argue with people about that, about content creating being a career. I'm like, it might not be a looked at career, like comparing it to being a doctor, a firefighter, a policeman, but overall, I'm like, it's still a career where you are gonna have to put in a lot of work and stuff. So yeah, I'm like, content creating, it can be stressful, but at the same time, I'm like, it's, if it's something that you want to do, trust me, it's going to be worth it in the long run. So anyways, with that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Stay tuned for the next extra. Like, subscribe, viewing this on YouTube. Follow, subscribe, viewing this on the podcast streaming service. And peace.